You know, we all see aging on the outside, but have you ever stopped to think about what's happening on the inside? Specifically, in our brains? Well, today we're going to break down that direct line between what you eat and how your brain ages, and more importantly, how you can actually take control.
Right? It's so easy to get caught up in things like gray hair or a new wrinkle, but honestly, that's just the surface stuff. The real question, the one we need to ask, is what's happening invisibly? What's going on inside the most complex, most incredible organ we have, our brain?
And that right there brings us to this whole idea of invisible aging. I mean, the physical stuff, super obvious, but the changes happening inside our brains, they're totally silent. And you know what? Those silent changes can have a way bigger impact on our quality of life down the road.
Just look at the contrast here. Physical aging, you see it in the mirror every day. But brain aging, wow, that can sneak up on you for years, slowly building in the background until, bam, you start noticing memory lapses. And it's this quiet, sneaky process that's really behind the increased risk for serious cognitive issues later on.
So, what's driving this? What's behind the wheel of this invisible process? Well, if we're looking for something we can actually do something about, the research points us in one clear direction. Our plates. Yep, it all comes back to that incredible connection between our food and our brain.
Look, a little bit of cognitive decline as we get older, that's kind of natural. But a bad diet, that's like hitting the fast forward button on the whole process. But, and this is the really powerful part, this is something we have control over. We can actively slow it down just by being a little smarter and more intentional with what we eat.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. We're going to break down count them, 6 specific nutrient deficiencies that have a direct line to speeding up how our brain ages.
That's it, just 6. And focusing on these, which are super common by the way, can make a huge difference for your brain's health for years to come.
All right, first on our list, vitamin B12. People call it the memory protector, and for good reason. It's absolutely crucial for building the insulation around our nerve cells. A good way to think about it is like the plastic coating on an electrical wire, right? Without it, the signals just don't fire correctly. And that's exactly why low B12 levels are linked to a higher risk for really serious conditions like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
So where do you get it? Well, you'll find this powerhouse vitamin in things like eggs, fish, and dairy. And hey, if you're a vegetarian or just need a little extra boost, fortified foods and supplements are a fantastic way to make sure you're not missing out.
Next up, let's talk about omega-3s. And listen, the science on this is just crystal clear. This isn't some vague wellness tip. Study after study shows that omega-3s are vital for the actual physical structure of our brain cells. Being deficient doesn't just kind of hurt you, it can directly, and I mean directly, mess with your memory. And fueling up is pretty straightforward, which is great news. Just adding some fatty fish to your meals a couple of times a week is an amazing start. Or if you're more plant-based, no problem. Walnuts, flax seeds, chia seeds, they're all fantastic sources you can just sprinkle right into whatever you're eating.
Okay, now for a real power couple. First, we've got magnesium. Think of it as the nervous system calmer. It helps keep all those nerve signals in check, which is super important for forming memories. And you can get it from leafy greens, nuts, and yes, even dark chocolate. Then you've got its partner, vitamin D, the sunshine nutrient. This stuff literally helps your brain grow new neurons. A little bit of sunlight or some fatty fish is a great way to keep your levels up.
All right, what's next? Vitamin E. I like to think of this one as your brain's personal bodyguard. It's an antioxidant, and its whole job is to protect your neurons from something called oxidative damage. What's that? It's basically like cellular rust. Seriously, it's the kind of internal stress that literally makes your brain older faster.
And hey, speaking of bodyguards, let's talk about anthocyanins. These are like nature's brain shield. These are the things that give foods like blueberries and purple cabbage those amazing deep colors. They work by knocking down that oxidative stress and, really importantly, boosting blood flow to the brain.
So, getting these antioxidants in your diet is actually pretty simple. For vitamin E, you're looking at things like spinach, avocado, almonds. For anthocyanins, just think color. Blueberries, blackberries, that purple cabbage we mentioned. Oh, and here's a quick pro tip for you. Try not to overcook your veggies, because high heat can actually destroy some of that precious vitamin E. Okay, deep breath. That was a lot of info, I know. So the million-dollar question is, what do we do with all this? How do we turn all this knowledge into actual action? We need a simple game plan, right? Something that actually works in our real, busy lives. Well, here it is, a super simple three-step approach. Step 1, just recognize what's going on. Understand that brain aging is silent and that your nutrition is a massive key to unlocking it. Step 2, actively fuel your brain. Be intentional about adding foods with these 6 nutrients to your diet. And step 3, make smart choices. Every single day, make that conscious decision to prioritize whole foods that protect your memory.
And that's really the bottom line, isn't it? You have a ton of control here. Fixing these common nutrient deficiencies isn't just some small, insignificant tweak. It is genuinely one of the most powerful things you can possibly do to protect your brain and your memory for the long haul. That's huge.
So, we'll leave you with this one last thought to chew on. Your brain's future, it's not some far-off abstract idea. It's right there. It is literally on your plate. And the small, smart choices you make today, they're going to have a massive, profound impact on your brain's tomorrow. So, what choice will you make?